Cool,
Oh,
cool. hot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Night Live on Dumpstat Charisma. No, that's not right. Saturday night with Dumpstat Charisma. We are live, though. And we have the extreme pleasure of bringing you a fresh slice of bliss and drama that is our first of new time slots and new shows. Our effort to bring together all of our beloved friends together in one place. Our new project for 2020, which is Dumpstat Presents. Dumpstat Presents is a collaborative show where we invite the loveliest and most talented people from our community to join us on new adventures. As of right now, our schedule for this show includes 2 campaigns, one which will be held on Saturdays and one which will be held on Thursdays. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's bi-weekly, right, Robert?
Correct.
Yes, okay, I got it right the first try. News about upcoming shows, schedules, events, and generally good vibes can be acquired from our main account on Twitter at Dumpstatia. As well as you can join our primary show Discord, which link is to follow in the chat. One quick note before we get started is we do have merch, which is hosted through the eternally lovely So Nerdware, where you can find our branded gear, as well as many other cool creations for the style-conscious nerds in your life. Now, may I present to you our Dark Prince, Weaver of our Fates, and Bringer of Omens, Derek.
Paul, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Welcome, everybody, to Lost in the Mists, a Curse of Strahd plus campaign, as I like to call it. This is actually the 4th session of our group. The first 3 were offline. But we hope that you'll be able to catch up clean. We haven't done a whole lot. Haunted house, killed a player, no big deal. I'd like everybody, all our players here, to introduce themselves and their characters. Let's start with Dana.
Hi everyone, I'm Dana. You can find me mostly on Twitter at DanaLeeB. That's where I live. You can find me here every other Saturday. You can find me here every other Thursday when we start our Star Wars RPG game. And you can also find me on Wednesdays at twitch.tv/SoulBearRPG, where I play the Tal'Dorei campaign along with Robert and a few of our other friends from that company. And I'm just so excited. And yes, I was the one that died.
I will go next. Hey, everybody. I'm Robert. You can find me on the internet everywhere at DSE_Smurf. I am part of Dumpstat Charisma, and I am playing the role of producer today. So all the streams coming through my end. So if you see me looking off and stuff, I'm doing stream things to make sure that we all run smoothly tonight. As far as the character I am playing Damien Vasiliev, who is a wonderful, wonderful cleric. Who does all the Healy bits, which, if you've ever watched me play a role-playing game before, this is widely outside my realm of normal. So we'll see how that goes, and if I can keep these people alive.
Hello, my name is Paul. I am playing Kaon Valentine, a human warlock of the Great Old One Pact. Basically, he is a impoverished noble. Is probably one of the most vast understatements of all time. He was technically nobility, but it's not just impoverished. It's more like decimation. Story to follow in game. But basically, he is kind of a loner, but he is sociable and has the grace of what would have been his station. He is an investigator by trade. He likes to hunt down different mysteries in the world and get them solved. So, and if you've got something strange in your neighborhood, he's definitely the one to call. So, you can find me at Andaluth on Twitter, where I repost a lot of memes and art, and also sometimes, occasionally, post notices when I'll go live on Twitch for my own personal streaming for games and stuff like that.
Just realized I never actually introduced my character. Way to show me up, guys.
Dana, take it away.
Before we hand it off to someone else, tonight I'm playing Voss. I am a Vengeance Paladin of the Raven Queen. And that's really all there is to her right now. It's been a lot, even if it's only been a few sessions. She's a grumpy girl, but she's a good girl. Has a really, really, really dark past.
Don't we all?
My name's Amanda. You can find me on Twitter at Amanda J. Zarini. I guess spelling is probably on screen. Tonight I'm playing Talia Riker, Freebooter Rogue.
Heck yeah.
So
Michelle,
I guess it's me.
yeah, go.
And last but certainly not least,
So I'm Michelle. I'm playing Siraja Singh, kind of based off of the Sikh religion. So my character is also a cleric, and he is far, far away from home. He was kind of looking forward to traveling elsewhere, and his things are a bit spookier than he was anticipating. I do have social media, but I don't really want to get into it. This is my first time on Twitch, kind of nervous, so please be nice to me.
and I do apologize, I meant last but not least character. We still have someone else.
Hi, I'm Vaughn. I'll be playing the NPC Irina tonight. This is also my very first time ever on Twitch, so yeah, please be nice.
I saw the question in the chat about having a player play NPCs. Vaughn has gone through this game with me before. My first time I ran it, and Vaughn was one of the players, and so he knows the setting pretty well. And anyone who's run or played Curse of Strahd before knows that the party can acquire a following of NPCs of either 1 or 2 or 5. And sometimes having somebody to help will be here. So Vaughn will be popping in when he can to help me play the NPCs of the party. You can find me, by the way, on Twitter at rdericp. I also run a voice stream on Ori's channel of Curse of Strahd, and I think that's all I'm doing right now. But we hope you enjoy, and I think I'll do a quick summary of what's gone so far. Our party was invited to requested by the Archbishop to investigate. Actually, she didn't tell them that. The party was asked by the Archbishop for some mysterious quest, and they suddenly woke up without having ever met the Archbishop, and have found themselves in this strange and bizarre land, unknowing why. They recently escaped from a nasty haunted house and made their way through the village of Barovia, met the burgomaster's son Ismark, who has brought them to his house in an effort to have them help his sister Irina. We left off with the party sleeping, taking a long rest overnight at their place. And before we pick up, actually, let's just go ahead and pick up. We're going to pick up right first thing in the morning. Before dawn is when Ismark comes to knock on the doors of the 2 rooms that you all are staying at. And he first knocks on the door of the gentleman's room and waits for a response.
Yes, who is it?
It's Ismark. It's before dawn. Are you all right in there?
Yeah, last I checked, I'm quite alright.
Well, we haven't been torn apart in our sleep, so.
Well, there was a lot of noise coming from the rooms. Sounded like quite a tussle going on. But we figured just the risk, rather difficult night's sleep or something.
Quite a tussle.
Yes, it sounded like people were getting up and walking around and talking and yelling, but nobody seemed to leave or anything, so we were worried about you, Irina and I.
Was one of you yelling and I slept through it?
I'm very loud. If I yell, you will hear me.
Well, I was up most of the night reading, so I didn't hear anything for the first leg of the night.
So no, not us.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Let's know when you're ready. Irina has put some stuff together that we can eat on the road.
Excellent.
Kaon is actually sitting down and brushing his hair, and he is straightening it, and then he not with a straightener, but like brushing it out, and then he is tying it kind of up into a in high top layered ponytail behind him. He's going on the road, so he's basically like getting ready for that.
Damien will finish putting his armor on, grab his shield and his mace. You ready to go, pretty man?
Oh, yep.
Excellent. So, Raja, are you ready?
Hold on just a little bit. And Saraja reaches up and makes sure his turban is very secured and finishes getting his armor on as well.
Ismark will have awoken the ladies as well, though not coming to their room. And but he doesn't mention the combat or fighting or whatever he heard to you guys.
Yes, I think we're almost ready.
All right, we'll be by the door.
Are we still doing your father's funeral this morning before
Yes.
we go? Okay. And then I've already been awake and getting ready, saying my prayers and sharpening my sword, so I'm ready whenever you are. Thalia.
Just cleaning my gun.
That's what it's called. There's a curious moment where after Kaon has put on his traveling jacket and picked up his satchel and put it on his, like over his shoulder, he'll pick up his book, which is bound in like dark leathers with metal reinforcements, and he'll actually kind of stop and he'll like finger through it for a moment, and then he'll kind of even take it and he'll shake it a little bit, see if anything drops out. I assume
Nope.
nothing happens.
Nope,
Okay.
nothing jumped
Then-
out.
Then, seeming satisfied, he will close it and put it in his satchel and move on.
Right. One moment.
Are we waiting on a map, Derek?
Yes, we are making that.
Yes. Kaon, once kind of everyone filters out into the main room, he'll be like, "Well, at least we're leaving this place on time because obviously it's haunted too now."
Yes, obviously. There was no kerfuffle in the ladies' dormitory, was there?
Oh, what are you talking about?
Ismark
No.
said he heard kerfuffle.
He seems to be under the impression that there was some kind of conflict inside the house last night.
Yes, a kerfuffle.
What he said.
Well, it feels like every building in the city is haunted, so I'm not surprised. But are you
I
all
would-
right? Nothing happened.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, we're all fine. However, it's quite curious that there could be such an... Usually when hauntings happen, they're very localized. Yet here it almost seems like they're spreading. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, magically.
Nothing about this place makes sense.
Well,
Welcome
yes.
to Barovia.
Mhm.
All right, so when you guys are ready, they close the or put the casket and ask, of course, for you guys' help to carry the casket down the road. They don't open or move the bookcase away from the door until everybody's ready to go. And you open up the door. It's still dark, though there's a slight bit of light in the east, like dawn is supposedly coming, though who knows. It's raining, and you do, from down the street, hear the same sobbing woman who was sobbing the night before.
Somebody
Sobbing
get that-
still in the morning.
Somebody get that woman a glass of water. She's going to dehydrate herself to death.
water is not a problem to find in Barovia, says his Mark. I
And it
appreciate
is
your help,
raining.
though. Yes.
Maybe we can talk to her before we leave town. I would like to ask her more about her daughter that's missing.
Yeah. At least it'll give us more idea about what's going on in this very strange city. But I feel we have an appointment to keep. We should finish
course.
that first. There's also something to be said about going back to the residence that we entered when we first got here. We did sort of leave the ghosts of children behind in a haunted mansion. Perhaps we should address that at a later date.
Considering I could not take their bones from the house, I don't think they're actually there now.
I do not think that there is much we can do.
And
Oh.
I hate asking, but did we inspect the casket?
You did not inspect the casket, but Ismark and Irina did. So. And he's still dead.
Good.
Well,
I mean,
Oh, good, because then we'd have to do something about it if he wasn't.
that doesn't mean too much here.
it's somewhat comforting.
Yes, we've come across quite a few people who were dead and not acting like it.
Yeah, undead.
Well, I suspect that whatever was causing that haunting was localized, and I feel like an event of that magnitude and focus probably has something within the home that is rooting it there. I'm curious to find out what that would be and what it would take to disrupt that, a ritual of that power.
In the first house or this house?
No, this house can burn for all I care. It's the one with the children in it.
I wouldn't say that in front of the ones who own this.
The people that we are helping live here.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You might be leaving, but it still is my home.
Well, maybe if your house is currently occupied by otherworldly beings, maybe we can convince your brother to stay with you, like you wanted.
Someone
Anyway.
needs to stay here, though. But we can discuss that later once my father is in the ground, says Ismark. All right.
Yes.
Then he begins to lead you guys down the street. I'm just going to move your tokens for me here. For you.
For us.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean. Will it stay focused on you there, Robert?
You're still in the frame right now, so you can keep going.
Okay.
You might need to ping
Okay.
it again when you move too far.
Okay.
Or I can trail.
Okay. All right, I'll just move them up and then ping it. So we don't have to, like...
I just scrolled up, so we're good.
Okay. You're not actually walking through these houses.
I was gonna say I became ethereal real fast.
Stop.
All right. And now we have a house with the description. Here we go. Atop a slight rise, against the roots of the pillar stone that support the massive castle looming above, stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end, and it is worn and weary. A bell tower rises towards the back, and a flickering light shines through the holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. The heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks, scarred by fire. Map.
Oh, no map.
Did I hear fiery claw marks?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Hi, sound. Why did you stop? Oop, wrong one. There we go. Sound is back. Sorry about that.
So this is the place then?
This is the church, yes.
Tell us what we need to do then.
Well, you can come in with us, or Ismark looks at Irina and says, I suppose I'll just go get him.
Perhaps wait here.
All right.
Let's take a look inside.
All right.
Do you think the church could be more spooky than the rest of this place?
Honestly, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, yeah.
I think that's a wise bet.
Churches are oftentimes localized concentrations of spiritual energy, which can be twisted. So,
I think this is the first time I've ever agreed with you.
so I think that this is something that maybe we'll take a peek inside just to be safe.
As Mark says, if the church is haunted, it's by men and not ghosts.
Well, that's sad because I would much rather deal with ghosts than by wicked men. So,
That doesn't make it any less scary, though.
It is true, men are scary. So,
Yes.
well,
who should go in? Me? I will go in.
in.
I'm a man of the cloth.
is that so?
Indeed.
Well then, seeing as this is your home territory, please.
I will go with you,
I will follow behind.
Okay.
as you do.
And I'll move up to the door.
Okay.
No, Rowan.
Michelle, can you see the map? No?
Yeah, she's refreshed Roll20 multiple times and can't see it.
Same.
Roll 20.
Vaughn also can't see it.
Why?
I
Are-
can see it.
Are they on the right layer?
I think so. Give me just a second here.
Roll20, you're the one.
Make D&D so much fun.
Yep, you're on the right layer.
Raja has just gone blind. Have fun casting.
Thank you.
Great. We go to the church, and one of our party members is stricken blind.
So it's
Yeah,
Saturday.
one of the clerics is stricken blind. Whoops.
Your god is
Whoops,
not welcome here.
indeed.
Let me try refreshing again.
That's weird.
Ooh, there goes sound.
Yeah, that was me. All right. How is that any better for you guys, Michelle? Gone?
Nope.
Still hasn't fixed. I'm gonna try on my
Now
laptop.
try refreshing the two of you.
Okay.
I'll try now.
Good point. I may have screwed up their tokens.
Uh,
Ha! Yes, totally my fault. Who said the token vision?
Blind one cleric and the NPC. It's fine.
Wait, is it working now?
Well,
Maybe.
I fixed Irina, I think.
let me refresh again.
Thank you, Toaster Vents. It's exactly what we need to do, probably.
It's loading. Oh wait, I think that did it. Okay, I see it now.
Yay!
Okay. How about Michelle? Can you see?
No. I'm so sorry. Oh. Okay. It is working on my laptop, just not on my desktop. Cool.
Okay. Are you good with that?
Yep, just need to zoom to the right area.
Okay.
Feel free to continue, I'll figure it out.
Okay, great. All right, you come to the door, which is full of claw marks and fire.
Well, this does not look promising.
Can we tell what kind of church this is? Like who this church is for?
From the outside, not really. No. It's like Gennaro Church, you know.
Is there any way that I could perhaps identify the claw markings of what it is has caused such damage?
Sure. Give me a religion roll or nature, either one.
Let's see. What do I suck at
oh,
less?
there's-
Probably religion.
Okay,
Nice.
nice.
That's an 18. I don't know if people can see that.
They can.
Yep.
Good.
So there are some animal scratches here, but also things that look like humanoids with claws, like perhaps the undead, similar to the ones that you fought in the basement, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a good 4 scratches. Maybe 3 and a light one.
I will lead the way and go ahead and open the door. You may walk.
I will follow.
I will give it a good 6 seconds and follow after.
I was on the wrong side of the door.
Doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the wooden floor.
That's not normal.
No, very, very much not normal.
I immediately unsheathe my long sword.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the greeting.
Wonderful.
Do we see anything?
I am approaching at least.
You see the man behind at the
Is he the one screaming or is he the
Yeah.
one praying?
he's the one praying.
Did he seem to react like, there she goes again? Or was it like, or was it more like, oh gosh, I'm in mortal peril?
Neither.
Okay.
Girl, are you alright?
Oh, here, I got a handout. Yay.
Yay.
I get so excited.
You have so many handouts.
I do.
Look at this boy.
He looks up, tired. The chapel itself is in shambles, with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted in candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church is a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up into the bell tower. Saraja, you definitely recognize that this man is wearing the vestments of a priest of the Morning Lord. Obviously not the same one, same versions that you do, the same synod, as it were.
Okay.
But this is a priest of the Morning Lord.
And he's dirty?
Yes, he's dirty.
Ah. Come on,
He looks
man.
up. He says, "Yes. Hello. Good morning. Please come in. How can I help you?" And then from beneath the chapel floor, you hear a young man's voice cry out, "Father, I'm starving."
I'm going to raise an eyebrow at him.
I don't mean to be rude, but what is that?
That, he says, is my burden. But come in. Let the Morning Lord bless you into our church. Thank you for visiting. How can I help you?
We are here to help Ismark and Irina say goodbye to their father.
Oh. He looks up and now he sees Irina Ismark in the back. He says, "Oh dear. Yes, poor Kolyan. I'm so sorry for your loss." He seems to straighten himself out, like, suddenly he's in business. And he says, yes, of course, please. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Takes a deep breath. Okay, it'll be all right. Okay, let's go. We'll take him out back to the cemetery, and we shall have a service as the dawn rises. And he immediately starts completely ignoring the fact that this place is a complete and utter disaster, and starts heading back towards the entrance.
Having just stepped inside to follow, Kaon will kind of put his hand out to the side and he'll snap his fingers and kind of poof away all of the moisture that's hanging on his clothes still with
Mhm.
prestidigitation.
Nice.
Strahd is just looking around, very concerned if this is how they worship the Morning Lord here.
Garage, are you all right?
I am okay, but this temple is troubling.
Do you also worship this deity?
Yes, but this is not how you worship the Morning Lord.
I think worship happens in different ways for different people, and I think from what we've seen, this place does not have as much as some others do.
It's downright despoiled.
Ismark says, "My people are suffering," and this is an example of it. And
I sympathize.
Of course.
by the way, when he passes you, Saraja, Donovich looks at you and says, "My brother, pray for me." And then he leads you out back.
I definitely help carry this casket.
Okay, great.
Same.
Same.
All right. Don't need to move over tokens for this, so we'll just describe it. So in the back of behind the church is a large gated cemetery that rests right underneath the pillar stone. Up above the pillar stone is the castle looming above. You can barely see it in the clouds, but its presence definitely makes itself known. Donovich says, "Forgive me. Things have been very difficult here. My name is Donovich, of course, and I follow the Morning Lord. I am the sole representative of him here in Barovia, and we shall perform the final rites for dear Kolyan Dirovich, late Baron and Burgomaster of Barovia." He asks you guys to help dig a grave.
Sure.
And as you do, he performs rites, praising the Morning Lord, thanking him, thanking for Kolyan's long-lived life, and hoping to guide him on the journey to the next life. Saraja, he definitely does a much better job of doing rites than he does of maintaining his chapel. So,
Okay.
So he does seem to have, again, since the way you do it is a lot differently, but it's generally the same kind of thing, and it has the same feeling to it. It doesn't feel like fake or wrong.
Okay.
Seems very sincere in his belief. The cold rain beats down upon you as the funeral rites are performed, and the ceremony comes to a climax as the light emerges above the mountains, though no sun is shining. It is merely the light from behind the clouds. It does not stop the rain, nor is there any rainbow. After a solemn ceremony, he says, "I thank you all for your assistance. Strangers, please, if you would like to retire back inside the chapel, I'll be happy to talk, but if you would prefer to leave, I would understand that as well."
I would personally like to know what happened in this chapel.
As
Come.
the As the sole active representative of a religious order in the area that I have found, I have a few questions myself.
He leads you back into the chapel then. Ismark hangs by the back. He kind of has an idea what's going on, so he doesn't really feel intervened, but he is cool with you guys talking to Donovich. Back into the light, you can see that it looks like Donovich here, besides being all rumpled and wet now, has gotten very little sleep. And he says, I do apologize for the state of the church. But it is just me now. And as I'm sure Ismark and Irina have told you, there is little help from the other villagers. They are afraid. They are afraid to come to the church. They are afraid of Irina. And they are afraid of the devil himself coming down upon him. And the devil sends his minions here, and there is little I can do to stop them. And that is the state that my church is in.
Do the minions of this lord take a particular interest in defiling your church?
Of course.
So they're petty.
How do you fend them off with just you?
I have a stick. I beat at them when I can.
That's fair.
But I would say, were it not for the whims of the devil himself, I would be dead. And there would be less here. But he sees fit more to torture us than to kill us.
Well, I am sorry you have to carry your burden alone.
Hi.
And tell us more about this burden of yours that is screaming from below the floor.
That, he says with a sigh, looks down, looks back up. That is my son. You see, my son was a boy of great spirit and energy. And a year ago, a man came from the outlands like yourself, a wizard of power. And he spoke such words that the people should not suffer the punishment of the devil upon them, and they should rise up. And he led them up to the castle. Of course, they were massacred. But to punish me in my insolence for even supporting or thinking of them, the devil turned my son into one of his spawn and sent him back to me. And I have him trapped in the Undercroft, and I pray every day for deliverance from the Morning Lord, that he will return my son to me as he should be. And he looks at Strahd and he says, that is why I ask you to pray with me as well, that one day my son shall see the light again.
Of course.
So, do you know what sort of spawn your child has become?
He is a vampire, like the devil.
The devil is a vampire for sure.
Yes.
This is unfortunate.
Hi.
I have to do some research about vampires. I haven't been exactly the source of my study, but I am intrigued nonetheless.
Thought they were a myth until we got here.
I'd only heard stories.
Most myths have some kind of basis in reality of some form of another.
They are very real here.
Where is your child being kept? As far as what is the station that he's at?
It is the Undercroft, under the church. I have the only entrance locked, so
Now-
he may not exit.
How long has it been since he's been turned?
A year.
How long
Ever
has it been since he's fed?
That is long. I will not give him the blood.
I recommend you don't. But it's strange that the spawn of a vampire can survive for so long without feeding.
It is apparently the way it works.
So he has partaken of no sustenance since then.
No, yet he cries for me every day, and it tugs on my heart, but I cannot give in. I know that if I pray, if I am strong enough, that one day, Morning Lord will bless me with a miracle.
Yes, very good. Interesting. Somehow this curse that he is on makes him desire sustenance but does not require it.
Sounds like a starving man, if you ask me.
Do you expect him to live like this until he is fixed?
Yes, I believe with all of my heart one day that if I have been penitent enough, if I have done the right thing and finally understand that the Morning Lord will cure him.
I've never heard of undead coming back from being undead.
I don't know if he is undead. Cursed may be more of an accurate term here, for I don't think the life has yet left him, more has been altered. In theory.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know
Do
a
you-
lot, but I don't think so either.
Based off of what evidence?
A vampire is a vampire.
Well, vampires, as far as my understanding, die if they don't drink blood.
They also have to die to become what they are,
Correct.
which then they come back, but they are not living. They have no heartbeat. They don't breathe.
Well, on that note, perhaps we should examine the sun at some point.
Ismark says that's probably not wise.
Well,
Though
I
I would not personally willingly encounter a vampire, especially one of his minions.
It is one of his minions. Why would he allow it to be locked below your chapel for a year, unable to do anything besides
Causes
create misery for you?
It is
it
a,
almost sounds
more
like you
pain.
answered your own question.
it is a mental torture for this man.
Why do it for just one man?
He is a sadistic bastard, from what I can tell.
Well, it sounds like
Hi.
his community.
it sounds like the devastation isn't limited to just this one man and his interactions with his child. It's citywide, but everybody seems to have their own particular tortures. Frankly, it seems like a game to whoever this demon prince is.
It is a
Suggestive.
curse. That's what Ismark says. He is a curse upon our people for some wrong that we did long ago.
And do you know what this wrong was?
No.
That could be the key. Oftentimes, the source of a curse is the key to lifting it.
Well, it would have been in the time of our ancestors, our grandfathers.
To a vampire, I would imagine that means very little.
Most likely.
I do wonder what would have caused this curse, and if there's anyone or anywhere that we could learn more about it.
That says Ismark, I do not know.
But while we are talking about Donovich's son, I suggest we do not go down there lest I be compelled to end his unending life. I would not suggest it, for that I will be compelled to do so.
Compelled, huh?
Yes.
Well,
The
suppose
undead are abominations, and they need to be put back to where they belong.
I
Well,
don't disagree. That is what must happen.
And I also do not want to do that to this man's son, so I do suggest us not go down there.
But while I'm loath to distrust another person who worships the Morning Lord, how do we even know that his son is truly exists? This town seems to be full of strange noises and voices that don't have any source.
unfortunately, we can't go around beginning to disbelieve everything our senses tell us. We have to take things off of evidence and prove that they exist or don't exist as they come upon, lest we descend into paranoia.
Ismark says, I can assure you that Doro is a real boy, or was, as real as myself or Irina. I
Well,
met the boy, of course, before.
We
Knew
have
him growing
reason to
up.
know.
well, I feel no such compulsions to murder your child outright for some curse that they're afflicted by. My interest is more in learning about it and perhaps how it can be combated or even reversed. But if that is not a priority right now, then perhaps we should do so after we take care of our current deeds.
I
What is your current deed, says Donovich. What brings you here,
Well,
besides what you have done?
from what we understand of this place is try to learn more, and in the meantime, try to alleviate the pains that the people of this city are going through, if albeit slightly.
So right now, after this, Ismark has asked us to do another job. That is our current business. For we are outsiders and we know nothing about this land and are simply doing what we can to survive.
I miss the sea myself.
Donovich says, well, in that task then I bless you, as best I can.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anything else I can do for you in the interim besides pray for you, sir?
Pray for your own souls as well. What is it that you are doing for Ismark? And Ismark says, I've asked them to take Irina away from here. Somewhere safer, maybe Velaki. And Donovich nods. He says, perhaps the people of Barovia will be less afraid if she is not here, whatever his interest is in her.
That is why people are afraid of Arena, because of his interest in her.
Yes.
Did he openly express interest in your son, Donovich, before your son became a vampire?
No, but I believe it amuses him to torture the holy, those of us with faith.
That sounds awful.
It is, my child, it is.
Spiteful, even.
Well, I wish there was more that we could do for you, but I don't think we can right now.
He turns to Saraja and he says, may I speak to you alone for a moment?
I see no problem with it.
Okay. He leads you, just takes a few steps away, and he says, it does me good to see another man of the cloth of the Morning Lord, though the way you wear yourselves is different than mine. I can still see that he smiles down upon you. I will tell you this, that I know. Irina is not Kolyan's daughter. Not by birth, anyway. He found her one night at the edge of the woods near the bottom of the pillar stone of the castle when she was just a girl. And she had no memory then of where she had come from. But he took her in and adopted her and raised her as his own. I do not know if this information will help you, but it seemed right to share. And I appreciate your prayers for myself and my son. Perhaps one day the Morning Lord shall shine upon Barovia again.
I hope so, and I hope to help that happen in the near future if possible. Thank you
Thank you,
so much
brother.
for telling me. Doot, doot, doot.
Mhm. And then he goes back behind the altar, kneels down, and starts murmuring prayers again.
During the conversation with Saraja,
Uh,
Kaon will probably kind of pace around, just kind of examining the architecture and like, what do you call the cloth that hangs it on the walls and stuff like that? Tapestries.
mhm.
And he'll look for ones that are like damaged or shredded or something like that, and then kind of casually as he'll pass, he'll just kind of brush fingers against it, almost as if to feel what kind of material that there are, and he'll cast mending as he does, and the cloth will just kind of like bloom back to relatively full state again, but he
Very
won't like
nice.
make a show of it. It'll be just kind of like as he's walking, he'll just touch it, and they'll just be in its wake. Will just be like repairs.
Mhm. Cool. All right. I'm looking for something. 1 second.
Would I have noticed Kaon doing that after the conversation?
That's up to you.
He was being subtle, but he also wasn't hiding it. So it's really up to you about how much you're paying attention to him. He was kind of going around touching like church stuff. So
I guess I'd go over to Kaon at that point and be like, I'm sure while I and the Morning Lord appreciate this, and so does Donovich, I would expect that the minions of the vampire are probably going to come and ruin this again.
yes. However, the problem with evil and despoilment is that they win when you give up trying to resist. And though it's a small effort, coming back and finding these tapestries restored means that in some small fashion, you're fighting back.
Well, I hope they will last longer this time.
That handout, by the way, basically what the tapestries kind of look like. With that symbol on them.
Ah, okay, yes. I will try to restore the Morning Lord's symbol within his own church.
Mhm. Okay. Does anybody else have anything they would like to do in the church?
I mean, I would assume that a lot of the stuff that's broken would take quite some time to repair.
Yes, it would.
Simply standing guard waiting for everyone to be ready.
Okay.
I will turn to our local hosts.
Mhm.
And do we know if there is? Do you know of any alchemists in the local area?
I
Alchemists? No.
Hmm.
No, I don't know of any. But then, as Mark says, we don't travel much because it is not safe. But you may have better luck finding such things in Vallaki. And Donovich stands up from behind the altar and says, or, he says, you may also consider going to Kretsk. Kretsk is the town beyond Vallaki, on the far side of the valley.
Hmm.
There is an abbey there, Abbey of St. Markovia. It is a holy place. Perhaps that also might be a place that is safe for young Irina. Ismark says, "Thank you, Donovich, for your suggestion. I appreciate that."
If there's any place that is somehow able to ward itself from this affecting curse, it would be good to study. I have a thought. Perhaps seeing as this poor man of the cloth child doesn't require sustenance, perhaps a very powerful sedative might alleviate both of their suffering. If it can be affected by such things, but perhaps when we come across such a place, we can attempt to concoct a powerful something. I don't even know what you would call a tranquilizer of that magnitude, to at least let him sleep.
So that is why you seek an alchemist.
Correct.
Ismark looks at
Um,
Irina and then looks back, in like a just kind of a knowing look kind of way. And then he looks at you and says, "Were I to look for such things, as much as it may displease me to do so, I might go to the Vistani."
Vistani, the potential servants of the prince.
Yes, but they also have ways that are not the same as ours and know magics and divinations that we do not.
Do they have a presence in the town that we're traveling to?
There's a camp outside of Barovia down the road near the Sare Pool.
Not far.
It's not a priority, but I'd like to stop there and see if they know anything about this location,
Okay.
about the situation.
All right. Great. Let's take a little 5-minute break
Okay.
and be back.
Indeed.
Mhm.
We'll be right back after these messages from the blank title screen.
All right. Hopefully, we'll get
There's cattail, so
Kitty baby.
Paul's muted. Oh no.
oh no.
I think I'm okay.
You're okay.
All right. Woo! This is going to happen a lot tonight. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dumpstat Presents, our Saturday night time slot, where we are playing a very special campaign brought to you by one of our good friends, Derek, and we are in the thick of it. So, sit back, enjoy, and pray for us.
All right. Oops.
Whoops.
Sorry, I accidentally covered my own roll 20 there. I'm good. All right. Hello. We're back. We have buried the late and honored Burgomaster Kolyandirovich somewhere in the darkness of Barovia. It's still raining. It's muddy. It's gross. Things are weird. But there's some light in the eastern side, so we got that going for you.
Speaking of rain, I don't hear the rain currently.
Oh, I hear
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I hear it.
Oh, it's just me then? Well,
Yep.
fuck.
You're not allowed to hear it, apparently.
I guess I'll refresh.
What?
Mark. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying one little thing of note about our rain ambiance is I freaking love it. Okay, so I really love rain. Just want to say that real quick. But however, there's like a brief 2-second pause when the track like bumps back, and it scares the crap out of me because it's so like atmospheric, and then everything goes dead silent. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're back on. All right.
I had to break up the tracks into 3 parts to make them upload to Roll20. So unfortunately, even in the playlist, there's that pause in between. So
Can you start and stop the rain for me for a second? See if maybe it'll come back then. 'Cause there it is.
Spooky rain is appropriate for this, though.
Yes,
so.
we definitely need spooky rain.
Oh God, yes.
Avatar by Toto.
Bum, 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 bum.
So when you have left the church, Ismark says the road to Vallaki is to the west and south. You had mentioned supplies. What little there are would be at Bildreth's store. It's really the only store open in town. It's across from the inn at the square.
Well, I think the first part is we should determine when we'd like to set out. I think I'd like to do most of our traveling during the day, of course. But I believe that we have at least mentioned a couple objectives before we head out. The first one is talking to the distraught mother. Cannot remember her name. And
Mary.
Mary's the mother's name?
And stopping at the store for supplies before we take our trip.
As you can see now, the sun sort of has risen in Barovia, and you can see the map.
Oh, yay.
Oh, look at it.
Ismark will point out that this here is the store, and actually just 2 buildings down is Mary's house.
We should hit the store first.
I need loads.
Well, we'll leave that one be.
We are in a
Whatever that
place
means.
of the Morning
You
Lord.
know what I mean.
I don't know what that means.
I need ammunition.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, you guys would all know what that means. Is that a load is a load for a gun. So at least all those who are not from Barovia would know what that means. And In fact, Ismark would say, I've never seen a weapon like yours, so I don't know if you will have anything, but you never can tell. Um, as annoying as Bildrath is, he does carry a lot of things, weird things.
I feel like this town all has weird things.
You get used to it when you're born here.
Does that mean we'll never get used to it?
No,
Hopefully, we won't stay here forever.
I want to go back sailing.
well, I wish
Of
you
the
the best of luck with that.
If the rain keeps up, you may get your wish before we even leave.
So you guys want to go to the store first?
Yes.
Yeah.
That consensus, okay.
So we head
I'm
that
moving
way.
tokens.
Token moves.
All right. The sparse light from this building spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads Bildrath Mercantile. Assuming you're going in, I will
Yes.
continue.
Mhm.
This 70-foot by 40-foot building is filled from floor to ceiling with merchandise of various age and use, organized in some haphazard format that likely only the owner understands. Emerging from behind a curtain is a round, bearded man who suddenly grins upon seeing you. Ah, Outlanders! Find yourself in a strange land in need of supplies. You've come to the right place. Bildrath, the best shop in all the village of Barovia. I have a handout.
How much
Yay.
competition do you have?
I was
He
thinking
says-
it.
He says none. With the same smile on his face.
I don't suppose you have any loads for a gun, do you?
I don't know what you mean. However, feel free to have a look around if you find what you're looking for. I'm sure I'll be happy to sell it for you at the right price.
Thank you.
And here is this other handout to sponsor one of the best and most important of the three pillars of the adventuring, shopping.
Ooh.
Oh no. Handouts galore.
On this handout is everything he has for sale and the cost, so...
Going to say Siraja was going to look for anything that reminds him of home, but it does not appear he would necessarily have anything from that far away.
I don't have to worry because I don't have any money.
Speaking of not having any money, don't we have a few trinkets in our pockets that we were looking to offload?
Oh, hi.
He says, yes, I definitely buy it as well. What do you have?
Pulls out the absurd amount of jewelry that she's like diligently cleaned over the night.
Uh-huh.
I believe I have all of this for you.
Very nice. Very nice. Let me take a look. She takes a look in, looks at each of the things. Did I have you write down which things you took, or do I have to remember?
I have 4 gold rings, 25 gold each.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy, I don't know why that flipped over. Platinum topaz necklace. That's 750 gold.
He will buy the rings, and those are the only 4 or 5 things that you have?
Yep.
Okay. He will buy the rings from you and give you guys the gold equivalent for that. He's willing to take it. He says he doesn't really have the coin, and it would be hard to sell that necklace. However, he's willing to give store credit for it.
That'd work.
What was the necklace again?
It's a platinum topaz necklace.
Well, before we just hand it over for store credit, perhaps we should see if there's something we want in exchange for it.
But he does have 200 gold coins that he's going to give you or did I say 25 each?
Yep.
100 gold coins total for the free ring, for the 4 rings. You noticed, Talia, when getting the coins, that the coins are from like 50 different places, right? So like some of them look like they're minted locally and they look the same, but a bunch of them they're all from places you've never heard of, basically.
None of these are Dassen coins.
Actually, there's one, but probably about a quarter of them look like they're a Barovia vintage. They have the head of Strahd on him, and the rest of them are from assorted worlds and places that you may or may not have heard of.
Kaon comes across he's looking at a area that's like survival gear, and he'll basically look at the tag on a poncho, see that it's 50 golds, and he'll be like, "Egad!"
Best prices in town, he says. Only prices in town.
Sriracha would look curiously at the snorkel, having not been around water that much.
He says, I got that from an albino. It was very interesting.
Talia sighs wistfully. I suppose you don't. Oh well.
I'm sorry, but I'll keep an eye out. If some other Outlander comes with such an unusual weapon, I'll ask. I do have some little lead circles like those, but I don't have the other stuff that you have with it. Lead balls.
I have at least one of the components. Sets a hand on the bag of bad shit.
Well, I mean, you might as well buy the bullets now and perhaps find the rest of the gear as you go on.
Aye.
I think I would be interested in one of these parasols. However, these are much too drab for the current asking price. I'll go 3 gold for one of them.
Prices, take 'em or leave 'em, buddy. I don't haggle.
What if I try to charm him into haggling?
I mean, you can try.
I would like to.
Oh boy.
Are you going to? When you say charm and haggling, exactly what do you mean?
Persuasion.
Oh, sure, you can persuade him. Go ahead and roll.
Well,
He says, I'm the only shop in town, man. You take my prices, or you don't have the things. That's how it works.
I think we might also be the only customers in town for some of this stuff.
Oh, others will come by. They always do. If not, the Vistani will buy some of it from me.
Understood.
Did Talia get all of that gold herself?
No, she just said that
200
she just gave it to everybody. 10 gold to each person.
I would ask to look through it and see if there's, again, anything from home or anything nearby that I would recognize.
Of the gold?
Yes.
No. There's none of them for any country that you recognize.
Well, crap.
What about items that you keep in the back?
This is my whole list. This is what I've got. Like, what are you looking for?
You don't have anything that you don't tell people about because maybe they're not good enough for it. Or maybe it's a special prized possession that only you want to covet.
I don't want anything but your gold, man. So, I don't got anything hiding. Nobody's too good for gold. I'm an honest man and an honest broker.
Brokers
I would
are
like to
never
roll-
honest.
I would like to roll an insight.
Sure, you can roll an insight.
I'm terrible at this, but let's give it a shot. Even worse.
Yes, good job. Yeah,
Alright.
he seems like an honest broker.
Well, in that case, I'm quickly losing interest.
Well, I don't know if I can afford the things that I would like.
Well, maybe you'll find some other gold somewhere else and you'll come back. Happy to have you anytime. If you survive, good luck.
I don't like you very much.
Wow.
He seems to not care. He just smiles.
Not that I have money.
He's always like this.
Shall we?
Do we need more rations or anything else? I don't know how long the journey is going to be from here.
Do we want to go broke buying rations from this gentleman?
Ismark can tell you it's about a half a day walk
never mind then.
to Falaki.
Oh, we should be fine.
Is it 10 copper to like, I forget what the copper to gold ratio is.
It's 100
Okay.
copper is the gold.
Okay, so if
Yes.
I'm gonna buy 3 steaks, which are 10 copper each, so that leaves me with
Okay.
70 copper. Right?
Mhm.
Okay.
She heard there was vampires afoot.
Well, I already had steaks. I'm replacing.
I mean, if that's
When-
the case, I might as well pick up some too.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were talking about like meat steaks. I'm like, we don't eat food. Like, what's going on?
Well,
Just in case.
did everybody find what they were looking for?
It's weird having money again, I will admit.
You do not often have money?
I do sometimes, and then sometimes you give it away to children because they haven't eaten in a week.
Hey, you're not repaid for your charity?
That's not
I-
how charity works.
I take
Listen,
care of myself, and when others are in need, I do what I can.
you see.
I don't know how you'd get repaid from children anyway.
That's
No,
the
not
point.
from children. Sometimes there are benefactors that overpay for your services and then you use that money to give to the children.
Well, I
Oh.
did mercenary work before this, so
Perhaps having such generous benefactors is a charm that most people don't have.
It appears that way.
it was
Right.
simply do job, get paid, do job, get paid, etc., etc.
This is how capitalism works.
It is most
However-
unfortunate.
Anyway, I am done. Is everybody else done?
I can't think of anything I need here.
Not for half a day's journey.
Not from this man.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
More than likely.
Bye. May the winds be in your favor.
And
Job.
we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to go?
I suppose so.
We talk to Mary first, right?
That's correct.
All right. Just slightly down the street, the moaning sob floats through the still gray streets, coloring your thoughts with sadness. The sounds flow from a dark 2-story soundhouse.
Well, this is obviously the place.
Ismark nods.
It's a little too sketchy for me.
I think everything here is sketchy.
Boo.
So, shall we go in? Or knock on door, or whatever. Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know what custom is here. I would assume we'd knock on door.
Generally, as Mark says, you would knock on the door,
I
but
knock
not
on the door.
expect to be, yeah, but not expected to be invited in.
I will knock on the door.
No answer.
Does the crying stop?
Nope.
Wait. Why would you, why do they not get invited in?
Because vampires.
Yeah, vampires can only come into your house if you invite them.
What about the vampire's minions?
That's real?
Yes,
That's a silly rule.
I don't make it up, but that's how it works.
That seems like a pretty good rule, though, if you're trying to get away from them.
Except if he has as many minions as everyone says he has, they can still cause enough havoc themselves.
This is true.
Indeed.
Aye, you don't need to invite a vampire in to have them cause trouble.
Well, let's go in.
Uh,
We're not
Are you
vampires.
sure you want to do this now?
Well, what if we see her while we're out? And I don't know if we'll come right back.
We should do this now. And we can let ourselves in. We're not vampires. So she will trust us entering her home because we are not the enemy.
I don't. Okay. Let's just
Is that face in character, Can?
yes.
let's just announce who we are, why we're here. Maybe she'll talk to us then.
I mean, Damien has a point.
No,
It's not a good point, I admit, but it's a point.
it's not a good point. It's a very rude point.
Here's the situation: is we want to do altruism for this woman, or at least get information from her. And unfortunately, the only way we can do that is if we make contact. But she appears to be too caught up in her grief to accept the pleasantries of answering the door. So we have two choices, which is either to barge in or to leave her to her grief.
Or we could write a letter. And put the letter inside the house.
I reiterate my 2 points as the realistic options.
Correspondence is not realistic?
Is she going to send us a letter while we're on the road?
No, but she will know that we care. And next time we knock on the door, she might answer.
Gonna knock harder on the door and be like, "We wish to talk to you about your daughter. Will you please open the door?"
Sobbing sobs for just a minute, but then resumes without an answer.
Ma'am, we'd like to help you about your daughter.
Ismark watches you for a while, then he says, I've tried that. I mean, you can go talk to her. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but my experience is she doesn't answer the door.
What about the window? Would she answer a window?
I will admit, Ismark, I did not try the window.
Well,
I will say though, if you're throwing rocks at it, don't break it.
I wasn't going to throw rocks. You don't throw rocks at the house.
I don't know if we should even bother her at this point. I mean, if you two could tell us what her daughter looks like, then we could just keep an eye out for her while we travel. I don't know what much more we could do if she's so deep in her grief.
Unnaturally so.
That's part of the problem, says Ismark. And again, he looks at Irina and then looks back
that's
at you
right.
guys. We never saw her. Didn't know she had a daughter until she started crying about her.
And she has... Good.
Is a bit of surprise for everyone.
And she has been crying ever since. Non-stop and loud enough for the whole city, the whole town block to hear.
Annoyingly, yes.
Pretty much.
It's...
This takes Town Crier to a whole new level.
You will find that Barovians tend to mind our own business as best we can because it is dangerous not to.
I
But
mean, if you want to
I
force
do-
your will...
I-
Oh, sorry.
I do appreciate your humor. Robert, give yourself inspiration, baby.
Conspiration.
I've heard
It
enough
depend-
crying and screaming from buildings that I don't wish to necessarily go in them if we can't find the source of the crying or screaming.
We know what the
Mean.
source is.
He said, Ismark says, if she looks anything like Mary, then she would have black hair and probably blue or green eyes.
Did she say what her daughter's name was?
I think Gertruda? I mean, is that right, Gertruda?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
It was kind of hard to understand her through all the sobbing.
Yeah.
Well,
But, I mean, if you want to force your way in to check on her well-being, I mean, that's the only way you're going to see her.
my concern is that anyone who has been crying without rest for 3 days straight may not be doing so, shall we say, in a healthy mindset or physical state, even. You have to rest at some point.
Well,
Well-
perhaps she's also cursed.
Yeah, that's my concern as well.
This whole
If she
land
is cursed, what can we do about it?
Judge the symptoms, find out evidence in her home. If the child never left the home until she disappeared, then maybe we can find evidence of it. It all really comes down to how much do we want to try and pursue this.
I think if we can help this woman find her daughter, we should do it.
Hi.
Saraja, Damien?
I think that is, yes, that is something that we should do.
I prefer to help the willing, but if all of you would like to force yourselves into this person's home. I will follow.
A small break-in in exchange for information to help us out with finding her daughter is small price to pay.
We could at least get her to tell us that we could come inside. That would at least make me feel a little bit better.
Yes, I agree with that.
She's not going to invite you in, though.
Yes, because the place is infested with
If she could come
vampires.
cry at the door, then that would be even better.
Well, how about this? And I will walk up to the door and I will give it 3 solid raps. I'll be like, "Hello, Mary. We are coming into your home to discuss your daughter. Please excuse the intrusion." And then I will attempt to open the door.
It's unlocked.
I will open the door and I will
Swings
step
open.
in.
Okay.
Push my.
The room is dark. The sound comes from upstairs as well as the only light.
Lead the way.
I will take a few moments to kind of examine the area downstairs. Even though it's not occupied, I'll still look for signs or anything of interest that jumps out at me. And then I will make my way up the stairs.
It looks like a habited house. You know, it's not like abandoned or anything like that. So, it's, poor, but... Okay. Make
Yeah,
your way
follow.
upstairs.
Yeah, following Kaon behind the stairs. Up the stairs.
Okay. Obviously, the sobbing is a little louder upstairs. It seems to be coming from... there's only 2 rooms upstairs. And it's coming from the end of the hall.
As I make my way up the stairs, I will give like a couple loud knuckle raps on the banister or whatever is a part of the stair. And I will say, "Mary, we are coming upstairs to check on you." And I will continue up the stairs.
Okay. Still no response other than the crying.
Can Irina open a curtain to let some light into the house?
Sure.
She's going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, can everyone see okay or no?
Yeah, I mean it's not it's not like pitch dark. It just isn't lit downstairs. Like
mean-
there's no candles or things on. There's a single lantern or single candle lit in the one room where she is in.
And also,
the
a few
fall.
of us do have dark vision, so there's that.
I just wanted to make sure
Classic
we didn't need
line.
to cast light for somebody.
Hmm.
I'm actually going to go into the room that the crying isn't coming from,
Okay.
because I'm assuming that would be Gertruda's room, and I want to take a look at it while Kaon talks to Mary, I guess.
Actually,
Or
that
attempts
room appears to be like the adult's bedroom.
Ah. Never mind then.
Are you guys going to go into the other room then, Kaon?
I'm gonna go to where the crying is coming from.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
will come up and I will give the door kind of like a soft but like hearty series of taps. I'll be like, Mary, are you there?
She doesn't respond yet.
I am highly suspect. All right. I'm gonna turn to look at the group. Thank you. Do any of you feel anything unusual?
Hey. Well, yes, all of this is very unusual, but this is not unusual from how everything else is already unusual.
I
I would need to open the door to be able to see if there was anything otherworldly going on, but I think it's just a woman in grief.
Yes. Grief is it's a debilitating state to be in, but this is taking it a bit far.
She must have treasured her child very much if she kept her a secret from the world. Probably to try and keep her safe from the dangers of this one.
We shall see.
Mary, we are going to open the door now.
Hi, we're coming in.
And I will try the handle of the door.
It's unlocked.
I will slowly push the door open and see if I can't get like line of sight before I commit to opening the door all the way.
Sure. There is a woman in the room sitting on the floor, clutching a doll next to a single candle lit, and she is crying and holding the doll tight.
Does the candle look like it's been replaced multiple times, or?
Yeah, it looks like it's been normally taken care of. Like she apparently stopped crying long enough to keep the candle lit, yes.
As soon as the door is open, I will cast Divine Sense.
Okay. There are no celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet of you.
Okay. Oh. Is she like sitting on the floor?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk over to her and I'm gonna kneel down
Okay.
next to her. Be like, I'm sorry for your grief, but could you please take a few minutes to talk to us about your daughter?
After a moment, when you're nice to her, quiet to her, she looks up, looks at you, and she says, "She ran away."
Very sorry. Could you tell us a little bit about her?
She was so beautiful. Black hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful blue eyes, like her father.
Talia is feeling a little bit called out right now.
She's saying it in a motherly way, even if Derek doesn't cover that. And she says, I tried to protect her so much. I didn't want her to get exposed to the world, but she had such, she had such dreams, and she's so naive. But I suppose that's my fault. I just wanted her to be safe.
Parents do what they can to protect their children. It's not your fault.
And you did the best you could.
Your circumstances are different from everybody else's.
Kaon is not in line of sight of her, but he has definitely got a look on his face. And at the same time, like, I'll take a moment just to share that with the group, and then I'll go back and I'd like to begin examining the room itself.
Okay.
While people are focused on her, I'd like to start taking in the environment.
I would also like to do that.
It feels the environment. It's cold in here because of the rain, and the fire has not really been going. It's the house, like most of the houses you've seen, are old and worn down and tired. Um, it's a, not a rich person's house. It's more like a house that was once a middle class house, but kind of has gone down after a few hundred years. Mary has much the same appearance to her. It's a very big house for just her, though.
And the room itself.
The room itself is a child's room. Um, a girl's room in the stereotypical sense kind of way, as much as a poor people could afford. Um, but you know, there's a couple. I mean, there's a bed and inkwell and some parchment and a lamp and a simple place, but
Hmm.
a couple dolls. Though Mary's holding one too.
Does the lamp in there have oil?
Yes.
Okay. I'll snap my fingers and light it,
Okay. It lights
and
up.
just kind of warm the put some lighting into the room there, and I'd
It
like to
definitely
kind
warms
of,
up.
while I've got her back to me, I'd kind of like to just kind of open a drawer here or there, or kind of like
Mhm.
leaf through the pamphlets and just kind of like get an idea of if it was like there was a life that occupied this room and like was it in the middle of anything before it suddenly like vanished, or did it leave a note, or did it have like worn clothes or anything like that?
There are girls' clothes in here. Teenager age clothes, a few sets. There's some writing. It's very um, fairy tale kind of thing, like fairy tale stories written, and some fairy tale books as well.
Hmm. We'll briefly peruse those.
Hmm. It's your standard, fantasy stories for medieval children.
Hmm.
Happy stories, though. Stories of, not grim stories, but happily ever after type of stories.
Could you tell us when she left?
A week ago,
Did she tell you she was going to leave, or did she just go?
she just left. She even left Molly, her doll. I can't believe
And
she left Molly.
do you have any
But
kind of idea where she may have gone?
I don't know. There's not anywhere safe, though. I am so afraid for her.
Mom?
Has she ever talked about leaving before?
No, never. She knows it's not safe out there. I don't know why. What would prompt her to do so?
Mom? When we find her, we'll protect her and we'll bring her back to you.
Thank you. It's very kind of you to say that.
Bye.
Or
Are
anything
you
else
are you going to look for her?
we would like to?
I
Will you take her doll so she knows that you saw me and you're looking for her?
Of course.
She takes the doll in her hand and gives it a kiss on the head and then hands it to Voss.
We will not let anything happen to
Oh.
this. We will either bring your daughter back or we will return this doll to you.
Thank you.
Yes, the doll is gross.
Well, while they're continuing to chat with her, could I go out in the hallway and start ritual casting detect magic?
Absolutely.
That's what I would like to do. So
Mhm.
hopefully you guys are going to talk to her for long enough for me to do this.
If I've given the room a good casing, I would like to go to like the downstairs living area, the kitchen, things like that. And I'd like to see if the kitchen has been in use recently.
Yes.
Get kind of an idea of like how recently, what was made, things like that.
Sure. Give me an investigation roll.
Mm-hmm. Investigation. First good roll of the day.
What you find in the kitchen and in the downstairs fits her story completely. Like, obviously, two people lived here. They obviously ate together. They had food. It's been a week.
Has she eaten recently?
Picked at food. It seems like a lot of food's been picked at and thrown away.
Okay. Does she have something that I could make a simple soup for her?
Sure.
Okay. I will make a warm, simple but hearty porridge or soup or something like that. I'd say stew, but stew takes a while, so.
Yeah. Okay. I'm waiting for Siraj to cast detect magic on the stew. On the soup.
Because I've done ritual casting, I'll check all this shit out.
Yeah. There's not any magic in this house beyond what you already know, which is the things you're carrying that are magic.
Yeah.
So.
The doll doesn't.
The dolls are fine.
The dolls are not magic; they are normal dolls.
Thank God.
And there's nothing going on with Mary.
Nope.
Okay.
While this is
Just
happening, I'm just sitting with her and letting her talk about her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Letting her, without crying. So
She
she's not
talks about
crying
how
anymore.
beautiful and sweet she was, and how she was so full of love and kindness, and how Mary tried so hard to keep her away from the horrible life that is Barovia.
When I come back with the food, which can take however much time,
Yeah.
I will set it on like a side table next to the bed, and I will say, do we know Mary's last name?
No, she doesn't really have a last name.
Okay. Miss Mary, please rest easy knowing that if we come across your daughter, we will absolutely let her know how much you care about her. And she would not want you to be in this state, so please, I've made you brunch. If you would please come lay down and enjoy this and rest.
After a little bit, she takes you up on the offer and takes a soup. She says, "Thank you, strangers, for your kindness towards me and my daughter.
Absolutely.
It is hard to find such a thing in this land. May the morning Lord shine upon you."
And I hope the winds become more favorable for you.
Well,
Should probably take our leave soon before we lose any more daylight.
That would be good.
let's just get the search underway.
When she is too busy with her soup, I will cast Prestidigitation to gently clean her.
Well, that's very sweet of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's cleaner.
Yes. And that way she has warm, hearty food in her belly, clean body, and hopefully a little bit of relief in her mind. So,
Standing downstairs, Ismark says to Irina, "They have kind hearts. I think this will go good."
I hope. But I would like to leave now.
I don't blame you.
I think we found out everything we could from this place.
We'll just
All right.
be on their way.
Make the Morning Lord.
And are you guys heading out to the west then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
I believe we have satisfied all of our in-town curiosities and needs. Unless anyone wants a suspicious meat pie, we should head on.
No thanks.
I don't trust them.
Me neither.
The meat pies or something else?
Well, the
I
meat
don't trust
pie.
anything in this town.
Yeah, anything.
I think that mistrust will serve you well in Barovia.
All right.
Once we are far enough away from the house that I don't suspect Molly could, or not Molly. Is it Molly?
Mary.
Mary. Sorry, the
Molly is the
doll's
doll.
Molly.
Uh-huh.
That Mary could hear us. I'm going to tell the rest of them. I don't think that her daughter, if her daughter existed, ran away. I think she may have been taken, just like Donovich's child, and who knows how many others.
It seems likely, unfortunately.
If the daughter existed in the first place, she had quite the imagination. There was quite a bit of folklore and fairy tale in there. Taken is what I suspect as well, but if not, I would imagine that perhaps she was caught up in such tales and wanted to act upon them, live her own fantasy.
Though I don't think you would spend not even a little bit out in the wild in this place and realize that it is not the fairy tale that you thought it was. You
Probably
would
not.
return home, which makes me think she also was taken.
Well, frankly speaking, the chances of finding one member of Barovia is limited at best. But I suppose we can keep an eye out.
In the end, the best thing we could have done for that woman was give her hope.
Yes. She's likely to be consumed by her grief if she can't find some bit of rest here.
If her daughter stayed out in the woods at night, she very may well have been consumed by wolves.
Oh, great.
Let's hope that did not happen.
When you guys reach the edge of town, Ismark gives Irina a hug. Very tight, very long hug.
She returns it.
He says, "Is that breastplate of father's fitting you all right?"
She adjusts it and
Yeah.
does like other thing. She says, "Yes."
You don't have quite the belly he did.
No, I did not. Thankfully.
I pray that you will be safe.
Thank you. Hope you don't do anything stupid here.
Yes.
I won't.
Wait till we get back to do the stupid things. I would like to participate.
Oh, I.
Keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
We should drink together sometime.
Anytime you come back after delivering my sister to safety, you are welcome, and I will always buy the drinks.
Why are you not coming with us?
Because I am now the Baron and Burgomaster of this village, and these people, as sad as they may be, are my responsibility.
And what are your plans of action in that regard?
I haven't decided yet.
Um,
Right now, my plans are hope to the Morning Lord, and even to Mother Night, and to any other gods that may exist, that you could protect my sister, and that one day the devil will fall, and I can save my people. Do I have a concrete plan towards that? Not yet, but I'm going to work on it.
I do hope that you at least consider rejoining your sister soon. Being separate from family is painful, and sometimes you are stronger together than apart.
You must also know that sometimes you will not get the opportunity to say goodbye like this. You should cherish this moment. It may
I
be the
am.
last.
Accurate, yet ominous.
Not wrong.
I have lived
Ever.
through some pain.
Well, you should do well to keep yourself safe. If God, I can't. It's what did you call him? The curse.
The devil.
The devil. Should the devil come knocking, you and the cleric are the only two people who know of your daughter's whereabouts. So take care of yourself for your sister's sake.
I will. He nods and heads back in town.
Well, Miss Serena, how familiar are you with the road west of here?
We should reach Vallaki in about half a day from this direction.
Any locations of interest along the way that we should know about?
There are a few landmarks, but nothing of great importance.
Understood.
Let's go then, shall we?
Hi.
Yep.
All right. I've only put Damien on this map because there's no need for everybody. And you should all be able to see it anyway. But Damien, if you'd like to move your token following the path. Yeah.
I distinctly stay near Irina while we travel.
Okay.
We are going to the west, yes?
Yes. East is where you came from.
Just chatty birds.
Go across the
see.
bridge.
Yeah, hold on a second.
No, holding on. Oh, that's not better. I like the birds.
Oh,
I only see darkness at this place. Oh no, I messed up. Where did I go?
No, don't go in the woods, Damien.
Don't go in the woods now.
I'm sorry.
Don't go on the path. Stay on the path.
And
Whatever you do, stay on the path.
And Damien was lost to us.
All right, hold on a minute.
Oh.
This doesn't have automatic reveal of the darkness. I have to do it manually. So,
Oh.
Oh.
otherwise the map would never load because it would take too long. Okay. The river you cross, the River Ivlis, flows as clear as blue winter sky through the valley. And you cross this bridge and travels to the southwest. And then the DM comes and he releases the shadows.
Thanks, God.
Well, if I want
Hey,
the
God,
shadows really,
it's
that
me.
sounds dangerous. Oh,
No, well, it keeps winding. Let's head up here. Oh, it.
An old wooden gallows creaks in the chill wind blowing down from the high ground to the west. A frayed length of rope dances from the gallows beam. The well-worn road splits here, and a signpost points off in 3 directions. Barovia Village to the east, Sayre Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft/Vallaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears through the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves shrouded in the fog.
Seems like execution's common around here.
Sayre Pool, by the way, is where they told you that the Vistani would be if you wanted to go see them.
Well, what do you all think?
Well, I believe our original objective is to the southwest. So I would say that the longer we're out here on the road with Miss Arena, the longer she's in danger. So I figured we'd take her to a place of safety first before we do anything else.
Very well. Let's continue on our path then.
Hi.
Raja would like to keep an eye out for wolf tracks as we're going.
You hear a creaking noise behind you as you leave the crossroads, coming from the gallows. Where there was once nothing before, now hangs a lifeless gray body. The breeze turns the hanged figure slowly so that it can fix its dead eyes upon you. Where the rest of you, though, see a gray lifeless body, Saraja sees himself hanging there.
So Raja gasps and takes a big step back and tries not to stumble.
Are you all right, my friend?
Someone
Hi.
you know?
If you mean somebody, it's me.
Come again?
What? The man that's hanging there, it's me.
Kaon will get quizzical for a moment, and then he will begin to examine the body. I believe I'm not the only one who didn't see something there a moment ago, correct?
I saw nothing, and then I saw me.
That is horrific.
Well, these woods are haunted.
Hi.
Thank you for sharing that.
As is the vast majority of this land.
Okay, so it's just safe to assume that literally anywhere we go is more than likely haunted.
Everything is haunted. The fish
Okay.
haunted.
All right.
The wolves haunted. The
Okay, I
trail
will say that
haunted.
fish are quite good.
The trail.
Does that not look like me to any of you?
No,
No,
it does
it
not.
doesn't.
Looks like a.
It's.
I just see a poor man that just got himself hung.
How about this? Hold up here for a moment. Let me go take a quick look at this. I suspect it's an illusion, but we could satisfy this.
Okay.
Raja trying not to look anymore and
All
is
right,
pacing away a little bit.
This could be an attempt to goad us. Never mind, let's go.
Yes, please. Thank you. Let's go.
Let us continue post haste.
Okay.
Hi.
You didn't touch it, right?
No.
The
Okay.
body?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get close.
Okay, just checking.
Everything is haunted. Do not touch anything.
On the
fact,
do
if you
not
want me
touch
to burn-
on the do not touch list, underneath it just is the word everything.
If there's something you need me to burn instead, please let me know.
Just do it far away from me, please. But I agree, you should burn that down. You should have burned that blasted house down.
I don't think we could burn this whole country down.
Yeah,
Not with
but
that attitude, we can't.
we can and we will. There are no other options. Everything must die
Aye.
by fire.
Hi. But let me loot the place first.
I frankly lack the firepower to do that, so.
It's been about an hour of your walking, by the way, so far. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Siraj is gonna start mumbling under his breath,
Mhm.
like different hymns and stuff to try and calm down and connect a little bit with the Morning Lord because he's pretty freaked out.
I will, at a moment, at some point during our walk, when I'm not terrified of wolves coming out and killing us, I'll make my way over to Saraja, and I will say, I highly suspect mind games. And I believe that the stress that you're feeling is exactly what they want. I suggest that you focus on the task at hand and consider that an illusion designed specifically to spook you on purpose.
Well, I appreciate the support. It's going to take me a little while to feel better. So
Understood.
Like the man in Barovia village. It might be because you follow the Morning Lord, and apparently that's not very well accepted here.
Hi.
that would make a lot of sense.
He seems to take a great deal of pride and joy, spiteful as it may be, in targeting men of the cloth.
Pride and torturing everyone.
Hmm.
Once we
Well-
get. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, most of us haven't been toyed with yet. Most of us.
Is there something that you would like to get off your chest?
No, I'm starting
Aye.
to build a psychological profile, though.
Seems like a lot of work.
Well, we are walking for a long time, so I have time to think.
He has not attempted to mess with me yet.
I think they started and haven't continued with me yet. Count my blessings there.
So, shall we continue? This goes to Blackness. Is this a part of the road here?
Yes, that's for the road. The
Once
one
we
up. Go ahead.
once we start to get far enough away that it's going to be out of eyesight, I'm going to go. I turn and look back just a second to see if it's still me.
When you look back, there's nothing there. I mean, the gallows is still there, but there's no body. So, Robert, this was the northwest passage, the stairs pool, and this passage here that you're following is the one to the southwest because it turns north as well here.
Okay.
Got it? Makes
Yes.
sense? Okay. Cool. All right. As you travel through this here, the road starts to climb into the hills. And you reach a peak, and then the road seems to turn again to the south. And right about then, a deep voice calls out, "Who goes there?" Through the chill mist, you see a large man in a drab clothing wearing a tattered gray cloak. He has shaggy brown hair and a braided beard. He leans heavily on a spear and has a small bundle of animal pelts hung over his shoulder.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello and well met.
I'm
Hello.
Damien.
Dahlia, right here.
I ask Irina, do you know him?
She does not.
I'm not. I don't
This
believe
is-
he's from the village of Orbia.
Mm.
Hi, I'm Franz.
Hello, Franz.
What brings you out here? Outlanders, I see. He seems to be looking you up and down. Curiously, perhaps.
Traveling.
We're on our way to Valaki.
I mean no disrespect, but is there something that we can help you with? We must be on our way.
It's important, he says, to keep an eye out on strangers when you come across them, in case they may cause problems. So you will understand, well, I keep an eye on you.
I understand that to a whole other level. Sometimes you must be wary of those you travel with.
Noted. However, do you have a problem with strangers often?
I have a problem with anyone in the wilderness. There are few who brave it.
Then, can I ask you if you have seen someone, since you keep such a good eye in the wilderness?
Of course. Who is it that you are looking for?
There is a girl. Her name is Gertruda, and she has black hair and blue eyes. She's younger than most of us, but not a child.
Hi.
Seen someone like her. Her mother misses her so.
I can't say that I have. But I'll be sure to keep an eye out for him. For her.
Dear, will you tell her that her mother, Mary, wishes she would come home?
I am certain to do so.
Insight check.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeet.
You know, he's not completely on the up and up. He says, "Shall we travel together then? If
Well-
neither of us mean others harm,
Are you heading
there is
towards
safety in
Milwaukee?
Munders." He says, "Yes, we are traveling up toward the falls.
We.
We?
Wait.
Myself and my friend, who's carefully remaining hidden for now.
Who is your friend?
Hi.
He is
I
an
mean-
NPC that Derek has not named, but will.
Well met.
But he."
Gets increasingly worried in pirate.
Yeah, but but France whistles, and another guy, shaggy like him, carrying pelts, steps out from the woods.
So what are you doing out in the woods? Why are you braving it?
Trapping
Trapping what?
bear, wolf, deer, whatever there is to get pelts. Have to earn a living, don't you?
In
Where
my-
are you from, friends?
We are from the mountains.
Well, as outlanders, as we are continuously called, I am not familiar with where the mountains are.
Well, he says, points up at the valley, mountains there, mountains there, mountains there.
Is
Ours
there,
are in the west.
is there a settlement there, or
There are some of us who prefer to live in the wilderness on our own. We come to town from downtime to trade, but it's not my kind of place.
what do you use in the beer to make it look so nice?
Elk blood,
Elk blood. Is that why it's red, or is that natural?
that's natural,
Fascinating.
but it helps bring the color out.
Did you do the braids yourself?
Yes.
Could we be walking and talking while we have this conversation, please?
Hi.
If we are going the same way, I don't see why it wouldn't hurt.
All right.
The markings on your face. Tattoos?
Hmm? Yes.
Excellent. The pattern work is magnificent. Is that part of your culture?
Yeah, you could say that.
That is a vague and unconvincing answer.
Is
Do
it?
mountain people usually have tattoos?
Some. Depends upon their tribe, I suppose.
Oh god.
And,
Can I? Oh, sorry.
and
yeah.
your tribe?
Appears I do, don't it? Doesn't it?
I was inquiring more about your tribe.
Oh.
I'm gonna step back with Irina.
Uh-huh.
Is this normal? There really people that do this?
I mean, there are many make a living hunting and trapping in these woods, like like you said, the mountain folk. But we've not had much interaction with them. They mainly keep to themselves.
Alright then.
Barovians in general, no matter where they are from, are generally distrusting of strangers.
That seems to be fair.
If they're usually distrusting of strangers, why are they traveling with us?
Safety in numbers. These woods, even if you're familiar with them, I imagine they can be quite dangerous.
As we are walking,
Hmm.
people will hear a voice in the back of their mind that says, "Do not trust him." And it is obviously Kaon's voice.
Irina's gonna give you a face, like, what the fuck?
and he will turn and just kind of give you a smirk. Then he will go back to watching basically the back of this guy.
Everybody give me perception checks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I am afraid.
Boop.
Oh hey. That's never gonna happen again.
Um,
I would if it would load.
Wow. Dirty 21.
uh-huh.
It won't load.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to refresh.
Okay. So, everybody's but Saraja.
Aw.
And maybe Irina, depending on what Irina rolls.
Roll 20 will let me.
Yeah. These two guys are obviously keeping a careful eye and watching how you behave. Voss especially, and to a smaller extent, Kaon. But Voss especially, given her cleric, they're kind of looking, trying to figure out if they could take you in a fight. That's generally the impression you get from these two guys.
Strahd is probably still too shaken from earlier to be paying that much attention.
There'll
If
be
my
another.
hand rests on the hilt of my sword, it's fine.
What sword do you have?
It would be my longsword.
Okay.
It just rests there while we're walking.
No. Okay. So, Kaon will once again, the whisper, the kind of echoey whisper, will come back into people's minds, and it'll say, "They're waiting for their opportunity."
Damien, kind of leading the troop, will stop for a brief moment, and he'll hold up his hand. Everybody get down. Something is approaching.
I will do so.
I will also do so. And try to avoid getting super muddy if it's still raining and probably gross.
Can I make a stealth check to hide?
Absolutely.
Just as a heads up, my computer's acting like it might freeze, so I might lose signal.
Oh no.
I hide pretty good, I think.
So Franz looks at his companion, and then backs up as well, like you're asking. What is it that you see, friend? Says Franz.
I sense something up ahead, something that means us harm. Something that is deceitful. And I will turn and I'll make eye contact with Franz and stand up all the way.
Perhaps, he says, it's the wolves. There are many in these woods, you know.
I'm afraid that if we are to face the wolves, we will be doing it on our own.
Oh,
We have no reason to travel with you any further than this. There's a bridge up ahead. When we cross it, you will not be crossing with us.
is that a threat?
I'm a man of the cloth. I do not threaten people. I give them very stern talking tos.
Well, it's good to know. Come, friend, Franz says. Perhaps we shall meet again, he says. Franz says, and they head off into the woods.
Keep an eye out for them.
What caused you concern?
Their mannerisms were... They were eyeing us to see if they could take us in a fight. It was only a matter of time before they attacked.
They were looking for an opportunity when our guard was down.
I suppose I'll keep my gun loaded.
They still will be looking for opportunities. Just because they are not crossing this bridge with us does not mean that they will not cross the bridge after us. It is obvious, because the woods are haunted, that I shouldn't have to say this, but no one is to wander away from the rest of us.
That would be foolish.
I would not suggest that.
Aye.
However, we should make haste. The longer we stay here, the more opportunities they have, so...
Let us move.
There's
I
no...
suspect...
Go ahead.
I'll whisper to the group. I suspect that if we have an opportunity to find the high ground, we should potentially prepare there.
I am always prepared. I am always prepared.
How
Oh, the
very
dirt-
comforting.
Like I said, gun's not loaded.
I'll just keep moving.
You follow the dirt road as it clings to the side of a mountain and ends before an arching bridge of mold-encrusted stone that spans a natural chasm. Gargoyles cloaked in black moss perch on the corners of the bridge, their frowns weather-worn. On the mountainous side of the bridge, a waterfall spills into a misty pool nearly 1,000 feet below. The pool feeds a river that meanders into the fog-shrouded pines that blanket the valley.
I wonder if that river leads out to sea beyond the mist.
Eventually, I would assume.
I hope so. I fully intend on taking a boat.
This is the falls, by the way.
I believe that we are being tracked.
Probably easy with the mud to see our tracks anyway.
Well, I don't think that the wolves would really need that. However, if they had friends or other people were tracking us, then... I don't suppose you know if the wolves have any connection to Strahd. Arena.
Derek, I don't think she does she?
I don't remember if I told you she did or not. Let me look.
I am starting to reasonably suspect that, I believe, but I figured I'd ask for clarification.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that that vampires can summon wolves,
Oh.
That's what she
and
said.
that there are many wolves and dire wolves in the woods.
Well, vampires do have the power to summon them, and there are many of very vast amounts of wolves and dire wolves in these woods.
Safe to assume they would follow their command.
Sentries, scouts, hunters.
So we shouldn't be on the road too much longer. Let's make our way.
We're almost there. We should move quickly.
By the time that you reach this bridge, you've been traveling about 2 hours.
Halfway there.
About.
Keep going.
Now I shall reveal more.
Uh,
All right.
You ever been to Valaki before, Irina?
Once or twice.
Do you know where you'll be staying once you're there?
There's a few places I will look into. There should be a tavern. Other than that, I was going to see if I could find anywhere safer, but Initially, that's what was my plan. I just wanted to get up from the shadow of that wretched castle.
We will stay with you until you find secure lodging then.
Thank you very much.
Have you had any discourse with Strahd?
Me personally?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And
told
what has he
us.
said to you?
It's hard to remember. It's fuzzy when I try to think about it.
Anything come through? Any words that maybe don't have any context?
I am checking. Oh, I know it's in here. All I remember is just how hungry the look in his eyes was.
Ugh.
Yes.
That's the only thing that vividly I can recall. It's terrifying.
Well,
Sorry, I don't like talking about it much.
Understood. And
It's understandable.
I don't ask you to dwell on it. I'm just looking for any evidence of his particular interest in you and where that may originate from.
I wish I knew.
you just keep that steak I gave you close, yes?
Trust me, I intend to.
No, that's very beautiful.
Yeah, I forgot to show you guys that. The falls.
Oh, that's pretty.
Too bad it's probably haunted too.
I
Pour
wonder
that haunted juice into Barovia.
what kind of hauntedness is inside of that.
I'm gonna say probably haunted water spiders.
There's a haunted cave behind the waterfall, if any of my adventures have told me anything.
Or it could be from the poor souls that decided to leap off the waterfall.
Why would anyone do that?
Despair.
When you live a life of suffering, sometimes you just wish to end it.
Aye.
Seems a rather dramatic response.
Sometimes it's all you have.
Not uncommon here.
Well then, shall we continue?
About 35 more minutes past the falls. Even here in the mountains, the forest and the fog are inescapable. Ahead, the dirt road splits in two, widening toward the east. There you see patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare.
Do you suppose that the eastern road leads up to the castle?
Would assume so.
Yeah, I would assume, yes. That makes sense.
So we are closer to the castle than we have really ever been.
Let's not get any closer. I'm
Listen-
already uncomfortable.
Let's not dwell on that at all. Let us keep moving.
Aye.
A short walk north and west of the crossroads, you reach a place where the old road winds towards a crest and a pass. Jutting from the higher ground on either side are high stone buttresses hanging above you, guarding huge iron gates, similar to the ones you passed through on the eastern edge of this land, though the statues here are intact. Drops of rain fall from the sky, and the gates silently open before you as you approach.
What is with that?
I don't like these self-opening doors.
Oh, I think they're quite convenient. However, I want to know if they're automatic or perhaps triggered.
Some sort of magic.
I don't like
We're
it.
going in the right direction.
Well,
Is this the correct way, Irina? Do you think?
Believe so.
Well, let's keep going.
It's been some time.
Right. Alright. It's about an hour further past the crossroads. And Derek has to turn the page.
Uh-oh.
Old Svalich Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanock Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. Its waters dark and still. A branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill, its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. Handout.
And that.
Ugh.
Oh, I forgot about the old windmill.
Do you see a figure coming down towards the road from the windmill?
Did somebody have people living there and failed to let us know when we took possession of it?
Well, this should be fun.
Great.
But do we need to talk to them? Can we not continue on?
Are they coming towards us?
Yes.
Great.
So after a few moments coming down towards towards the main road, you see the old lady pushing her cart with the pies.
Uh,
She says, "Oh, hello, hello, hello. Would you care for some pies? You're very far out from Barovia."
We are
Do you-
quite fine
So are
without the
you.
pie.
I'm fine with my rations, thanks.
Are you sure? Only one gold each. They're the finest in all Barovia.
No, thank you.
I'll take one.
Oh, all right. She gets one out and hands it to you. 1 gold, please.
I will give her a gold.
Thank you, young man.
Mhm.
It smells amazing.
Yay.
Have we seen cart tracks anywhere, by the way?
It's hard. I mean, it's the road is barely a road. It's muddy, so it's
I feel like it'd
not.
be hard to drag it through the mud and everything. though,
It's
too,
not
huh?
easy for her to do it, and she does push it kind of slowly. You haven't really seen any tracks, but not in a way that makes you suspicious.
No,
I should
okay.
say, yeah.
not Barovia, it's Mudrovia.
Hmm.
Get
Well,
out.
Unless the rest of you would like some, I might come my way to Barovia. I have most of my best customers there. I hope you all have a safe journey.
Thank you.
Thank
As
you.
well.
You're welcome. Goodbye, dears.
Don't eat that pie.
I don't intend to.
Oh, glad. I was going to warn you.
Oh, warn me about what?
Have you had her pies before?
No, there's just something very off-putting about them that I don't trust.
Well, I say it's very strange that she came out of that old dilapidated windmill. Do you know if perhaps she lives there?
I'm honestly, this is the first I've known about where she lives. I mean, it's possible. Maybe that's where her bakery is. I personally don't know.
I kind of want to take a look.
I mean, it's someone's private property, but if we want to go off the path,
This is not what we are here for. We have said that we are taking Irina to the place, and all other side journeys can wait.
I would like
I
to get there
suppose.
before the sun goes down.
We must go post-haste.
Well, we can come back and explore later, I suppose. And as I do that, I will pull out a couple, basically like tools or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna start like scraping away little bit by little bit at the pie, and just kind of do like a surgical, like autopsy on it. I'm gonna do a full like alchemical, like forensic look at this pie. I am very curious.
While you're walking,
Yeah.
has Can ever done an autopsy on a meat pie before?
No.
Ew.
Do you have pie in the lands you're from?
I'm sorry. Is that a serious question?
Well, from the way you're taking that apart like it's a cadaver, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you prefer? And I'm gonna like take out like one of the nearest pieces of wiggly meat and just kind of hold it out to her.
Ugh.
Did I forget to offer you a bite first?
No.
Okay.
Continue on.
Is it an autopsy or is it a dissection?
Okay. I am gonna
I'm going
wait.
to run off into the woods now and never return. Goodbye.
This is gonna be a slow burn, but I'm gonna wait about 5 or 6 more levels. I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna get the ability to open up a dimensional plane, and I'm gonna put you into it. So,
Push
You
me
are-
in
you have
first,
been
I don't want to do this
forewarned.
anymore.
Michelle, inspiration.
Yay!
Hey. Paul, it seems to be what you would expect a regular meat pie to be when you're dissecting it, though you're not 100% sure, never having done one before. You probably would need a second one for scientific proof.
okay.
From another
I'll-
source.
Okay. Well, I'll have to find another place that sells meat pies here. But I specifically want to see if there's like any unusual chunks of meat that I wouldn't like. I don't know, like a finger or anything like that.
No. All the meat is well diced into. It's hard to tell what kind of meat it is. It's they don't like put chunks in the meat pie. It's just tiny bits
Yeah.
and well gravied.
Was this worth your gold?
Well, I didn't find any like human knuckle bones or anything like that in there, so I'd say that's a win.
That is very gross. I cannot believe that you are looking for human knuckle in this meat pie from this old woman in a cursed place. Well, you know what? That makes sense.
Ugh.
I really want to whisper to Bass. Is he always this odd?
Which one? The answer is yes, no matter who you say.
She reluctantly just kind of nods at that.
I try and find humor in everything I do. It keeps me
I've
sane.
only known them for like 3 days. I don't know anything.
Oh, I'm sorry then.
So you go around here. You notice that there's a break in the trees and there's a large lake to the north.
Ah, yes, Large Lake.
And then you travel another 2.5 hours from. That's basically from the crossroads. So in all, you've traveled about 5 hours today. Actually, almost 6 hours.
And we didn't get eaten by wolves even once.
There's still time.
This entire village is filled with wolves ready to eat us.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not looking forward to the next wolf encounter.
The old
There are many
Village
things.
Road meanders into a valley washed over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against this wall, as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are a half-dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled upon them.
Ooh.
Slightly
And
safer.
that, my friends, is where we are going to end for tonight.
Ah.
Ooh.
Ooh, heck yes.
These people know how to deal with a wolf infestation.
Yeah.
Yeet. Yeet indeed.
Talia likes them.
I'm just gonna have to remember to use my inspiration next time.
Indeed.
Right.
Look at you. You're just going off.
You give out inspiration for puns, and soon we're gonna start calling everything Lakey McLakeface and expect inspiration for it.
Only puns that make me laugh and other things that remind me that inspiration exists. Give you
Not good
True.
at that, so I'm just gonna sit here in my dark corner without any inspiration.
I'm just
sorry.
gonna sit over here by my shelf of minis, also with no inspiration. And a load of gun.
One last handout. Here's the village in the valley.
Oh, neat. Their walls are comforting and also foreboding.
Real quick before we do our goodbyes and everything, I want to thank a bunch of people that followed the stream tonight. Toaster Oven X, Raptorian1, Katazo,
Hey.
So Gararbuyer, Nico Necro, and Explosive Walnut. Thank you guys for all following.
Nice.
We greatly appreciate it. If you're watching right now and you have not followed us, you definitely should do that so that you can see all of our other great content that we have available here. We are starting a couple new games, including this one. This was our first stream tonight for this game. We're also starting a new Star Wars game on Thursday nights, and I think it's 2 weeks is the first one.
It's 2 weeks out,
Yeah.
yes.
16th.
I've just seen part of the overlay that Josh is working on,
I'm so excited.
and it's so good. So
He does such good work.
he does amazing work.
He cares.
He cares a lot. So please follow us. We also have other content that we run on Monday and Tuesday nights. We have a Star Wars game that Paul runs, which is a noir-style game. That's going to be on Monday night at 7 p.m. And then Tuesday nights we have a Fallout game that we run, and then another 5e homebrew game that I run that you can come and check out. Those games both start at 7 p.m. Over on that channel. But Derek, I'll give it back to you to take us out.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us as well. My nerves did not get the best of me for the first time I've run this game on stream. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm very happy. Thanks everybody for playing. You guys did great, and hope to see you in 2 weeks for our next session of Lost in the Mists.
Oh dang. I was hoping that you would talk longer so I could find somebody to go raid.
Okay,
but
I'll talk longer. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll be happy to try and answer them. Or message me privately on Twitter. Again, I'm at RDerekB. And thank you, Dylan, very much for saying that I did a good job.
I concur. Like it was been mentioned, several of the faces here tonight. It's their first stream, not just with Dumpstat Charisma, but in general. And I think that the collectively killed it is a good way to put that.
Yeah. So.
Even though we didn't collectively kill anything tonight, so.
And we weren't collectively killed.
You avoided being
Also
collectively killed by the random encounter.
Did we? I know that it's spoilers and all that stuff, but it's always nice to know that we took the path of the living tread. So.
That encounter could have ended in combat. I'll put it that way. So.
Also, I do want to make a comment about some of the art that we have for Kaon, Boss, and Damien. They are pieces of art. Kaon's art is done by Sammy Harlan on Twitter, And then Voss and Damien's art, and soon to be Thalia and Siraj's art, will also be done by our JS Art, aka Katarina, on Twitter as well. You should check them out. They are awesome. And I love their art so much. It's so good.
It's so
and
good.
hopefully we'll have the rest of the PC's art done soon. And I'm so
Indeed.
excited.
Awesome. I found somebody to go raid. We're going to go raid Flipping the Table. So please send all of your love to them. We are starting the raid now, so hopefully things start going to do the thing. And we will be out relatively shortly. So catch us again next time.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Ian did it!
We did it.
Yay.
Whoop whoop.